Hey friends, welcome back to Grand Adventure. I'm your host, Mark Guido, and in this episode, we are staying in Cannonville, Utah, and we're here to show you Utah's spectacular Bryce Canyon Country, so stick around. Now, we named this episode Bryce Canyon Country instead of Bryce Canyon National Park because the national park is actually closed to visitors for the COVID-19 outbreak. However, that doesn't mean that there's nothing to see or do around here. Quite to the contrary, there are a ton of things to see and do around here. We have Grand Staircase Escalante National Monument just to our east. We're not going to visit that in this episode, but we're going to link on the screen right here if you wanted to go check out one of our previous episodes that covered that part of Utah. However, we do have right nearby the gorgeous Kodachrome Basin State Park, which is just reopened to visitors. We also have right outside of Bryce Canyon, the Red Canyon area, which in my opinion actually has some better hiking than the national park itself in an equally spectacular setting. There are also some great little small towns and things to see and do around here, and we hope to share a little bit of that with you in this episode. Now for this episode, we are staying at the Cannonville Bryce Valley KOA Campground in Cannonville, Utah with full hookups. We came here because we wanted to spend some time with some friends who are working here for the summer at this KOA campground, and we'll introduce them to you in the course of this episode. But this is not what you would normally expect from a KOA campground. It's not a huge complex with hundreds of sites. It's a small, intimate, cozy campground with aisles that tend to wander around either through the lower campground down here or the upper campground, which is up in the hill behind me. The sites, we again opted for the cheap seats. We have a 30 amp back-end site in the lower campground, which actually has a rarity in this part of Utah, and that's some nice lush green grass in the patio area for Zoe to enjoy. They do have premium sites with some upgraded patio areas. They also have everything all the way to a 50 amp pull-through for the largest Class A. We'll show you a little bit around this campground before we head off and explore Utah's beautiful Bryce Canyon Country. We're heading out down the road with our friend John Tardif to start exploring Bryce Canyon Country. Known to his friends as JT, he and his wife Joanne are spending their second summer at the Cannonville Bryce Valley KOA, with Joanne working at the campground. Originally from New England, the couple spent the past 20 years living in Sheridan, Wyoming, before selling it all to pursue the full-time RV lifestyle. Together, they run the YouTube channel and Facebook group Scenic Driveways. Since we can't access the national park atop Bryce Canyon, we're going to explore the BLM roads beneath the canyon, surrounding the towns of Cannonville and Tropic. Kodachrome Basin is a jewel of the Utah State Park system. Just 12 miles from Cannonville and 20 miles from Bryce Canyon National Park, at an elevation of 5,800 feet. Kodachrome Basin is known for its sandstone spires and columns called sandpipes, believed to be found nowhere else on Earth. Differing geological explanations of the features exist. One explanation is that the area was once similar to Yellowstone National Park, with hot springs and geysers, which eventually filled up with sediment and solidified. As the surrounding sandstone eroded, it left behind these 67 large sandpipes. Others suggest these sandstone spires are the result of sandstone intrusions, which were created as a result of the tectonic activity that gave rise to the uplift of the surrounding plateaus. In 1948, the National Geographic Society explored and photographed the area for a story that appeared in the September 1949 issue of their magazine. They named the area Kodachrome Flat, after the then relatively new brand of Kodak film they used, and for the vivid colors of the sandstone. In 1962, the area was designated Chimney Rock State Park, but was renamed Kodachrome Basin a few years later with Kodak's permission. There are several campgrounds within the state park. Bryce View Campground provides what its name implies, from 11 reservable dry campsites. Arch Campground offers 6 reservable water and power sites for RVs and trailers up to 25 feet in length. Basin Campground is nestled right at the head of the basin and offers 15 full hookup sites, 20 standard sites, 1 double site, and 1 ADA site. Most are reservable, with a few held for walk-ups. Generator hours of noon to 4 p.m. are strictly enforced. Kodachrome Basin also has 2 amenities that we seldom see in a state park: a bunkhouse and a laundromat. Zoe and I are heading into Red Canyon to squeeze a bit of hiking in between rain showers. Red Canyon is situated in Dixie National Forest, just a couple of miles northwest of Bryce National Park, and offers nearly identical scenery without the crowds that usually descend upon Bryce Canyon. The Red Canyon Trail system is nevertheless widely known and very popular. Hiking trails include Pink Ledges, Hoodoo, Bird's Eye, and Golden Wall. And there's a paved bicycle trail that runs the entire length of the canyon. Red Canyon has been called the most photographed place in Utah, and it's easy to see why, with its brilliant red soil contrasting with green pines.
Excuse me. Oh.
In 1923, when Bryce Canyon first became a national monument, Reuben Syret, better known as Ruby, moved his lodge to the location of his ranch, just outside the monument, and named it Ruby's Inn. What started with 10 houses paved the way for today's 2 hotels and massive full hookup RV park that are still run by Ruby's family. From the moment we arrived in Cannonville, JT hasn't stopped raving about the burgers at the Antimony Mercantile, or Merc, which have garnered numerous consecutive Best in State awards. JT and Joanne are going to accompany me on the 49-mile drive to the tiny hamlet of Antimony to see what all the fuss is about and take in some of the scenery along the way. And the conclusion? Those Best in State awards are well deserved.
The owner's very friendly too, huh?
Yeah.
What's so weird? I think she was like, he did it to me again. It took off to get your camera.
JT is also an expert marksman. So what better opportunity to brush up on my shooting skills? The free Bryce Valley Shooting Range was constructed in 2015 as an Eagle Scout project less than a mile up Route 12 from our campground. My grandfather purchased this 1966 Winchester Model 121 bolt action 22 caliber rifle when I was only 6 months old, but I haven't fired it in 40 years.
There you go.
Seems like third time's the charm.
Yeah, baby. Unlike this rifle, I may be a bit rusty, but I've still got it.
Walking target here.
Yeah. Nailed it. Nailed it. So you spoke too soon.
So we sincerely hope that you've enjoyed coming along on our grand adventure to Bryce Canyon Country. If you like this episode, please give us a big thumbs up down below. Now, also down below, you'll find the comments section where we always love to hear from you after each episode, which we air every Wednesday evening. So if you're not yet a grand adventurer, now is the perfect time to go smash that little red subscribe button down there in the corner and ring that notification bell. We would also be honored if you shared the channel with your friends, family, and on social media. Until next week, please remember life is nothing but a grand adventure. We'll see you then.